Hey everyone, this is Rachel. Thanks for clicking on my video. And I came in today to talk about this whole Bill Cosby saga. I know by now you guys have heard that Bill Cosby was convicted of the charges that were brought up against him. He was sentenced to 3 to 10 years, being, in his 80s. He probably won't get out until he's about 84 years old, if he gets out then. Y'all, I am very, very conflicted about this whole thing with Bill Cosby, and let me tell you why. When I first heard the allegations that were, lobbied against Bill Cosby a little over a year ago, like everyone else, I was shocked. Bill Cosby for us was America's #1 TV dad. So to think of him doing something like this, I was in total disbelief. But being the fair person that I am, I said, let me do this. Let me take a listen to what these women are saying and see if I feel that there's any weight to it. So I did that. And woman after woman told, similar stories. And so what I said to myself is, I don't know if I believe 100% of everything that they said. But what I do believe that there was something there, that he did something to these women, because everyone couldn't be lying on him. And around this time when I had heard the stories about Bill Cosby, all these allegations, what I did, because I wasn't young when Bill Cosby was a young man. He is old enough to be my dad. So what I did is I went to my parents and I asked them, when you guys were younger and Bill Cosby was young, did you hear any rumors about him drugging bitches? Now, I didn't say that to my parents, but, I said drugging women. And what my mother told me is she didn't hear stories about him necessarily drugging people. But what she did hear was that he was a bit of a womanizer. He routinely stepped out on his wife, infidelity, cheating, and all of that. But she said, honestly, she was a bit shocked about these allegations as well. Not shocked to the point where she believed that it was outside the realm of what he could do, because once again, we don't know these people personally, but because of the persona that he had, the Jello pudding guy, the TV dad, Heathcliff Huxtable. That's who she thought of him as. So like me, she was shocked, but she did remember hearing rumors about him being a womanizer. So then I got to thinking, back in the 60s and 70s, those type of drugs that, you slip in drinks, they were, kind of major back then. It was probably just coming out, and a lot of people realized that, you can slip this in someone's drink, incapacitate them, and take advantage of them. So maybe back then, with them popping pills and all this stuff, they thought it was cute to do that. And maybe that's how he got into it. So I said, okay, well, it could happen. Then when I started listening and watching television and watching each of these women come on and tell their stories, a couple of them were a little fishy to me. So then it made me start having doubts. Now, let me back up again. I thought that there was some smoke there, but I didn't necessarily think that it was as strong as what some of these women were making it. I could be wrong. Evidently I was, because he was convicted. So after coming to that conclusion, then I had to jump over another fence and say, now that I believe that there's some smoke there, do I believe that he should be punished for what he did? And then I said, well, you know what? If you do a crime, we have laws and you're not supposed to break them. And if that's the case, then yes, he should be punished. But here's where I have a problem with it. Bill Cosby is not the only man who has been accused of these types of crimes. We have, over the last couple years, watched, several prominent white men be accused of exactly the same crimes, and in some cases, worse crimes. Now, we see them lose their jobs, and we know that they're publicly disgraced. But what I have a problem with is I don't see them being marched into courtrooms. I don't see trials happening, and I don't see them convicted and then sent to jail. But when it comes to a black man, a brother, the law is not only applied to him, it is applied to him with a heavy hand. Hence, Bill Cosby being sent to jail. Why is that? And that is the problem that the black community has with this. We, as black people, say, if the laws are there, why aren't the laws being applied across the board? When is Harvey Weinstein going to jail? When is Matt Lauer going to jail? And for that matter, when is your president going to jail? That is the problem that we have. We have watched everything being taken away from Bill Cosby. We have watched him being led into prison, half blind, in his 80s, to basically a death sentence. Because what I believe is going to happen is when those doors slam behind Bill Cosby and he is in that cell by himself, he's going to sink into a depression. And when you are an older person and you are depressed and you feel like the world is against you, your will to live, to just simply live, seems to start slipping away. And I believe that this could possibly take this man out of here. They said on sentencing day, when they led him away, he appeared in court by himself. His family was not by his side. Now, I don't know if it's necessarily because, they don't stand in solidarity with them. Maybe it's more of this. Maybe Bill Cosby saw the writing on the wall and he knew that it would be too difficult for his family and for himself to have them in that courtroom when he was sentenced and led away. So he asked them not to come. And I guess he said, I'm going to face this music by myself. When I watched them lead him away, something in me broke. Even though I feel that if you commit a crime, you should be punished. When I watched him being led away, my feelings went out. My heart went out to him. Because a lot of times we do stuff when we're younger. We're different people. And then when we get older and we know better, we look back on some of the things that we did when we were younger and we cringe because we're not those people anymore. You have white men, you have a judge right now who has been accused of sexually harassing a woman or assaulting a woman, some 30 odd years ago, just like Bill Cosby. But I sat and watched on television the last couple of days where those senators and congressmen are saying that these allegations have destroyed him. They have destroyed his family. Poor Brett Kavanaugh. Poor Donald Trump. Poor Harvey Weinstein. Poor all of these men. Poor Matt Lauer. But for Bill Cosby, the book was thrown at him. And I don't see the fairness in that. Like I said, if you're going to apply the law, then it should be across the board. And that's how I feel about it. And in Bill Cosby's case with his age, I think they could have handled this a different way. He is, I think, considered legally blind. He's a man that's in his 80s. I think they could have given him house arrest, an ankle bracelet to monitor where, he is at all times, his comings and goings. Because let's face it, he's blind. He's not fleeing the country or going anywhere. This man is in his 80s, I think it could have been handled a different way, but it seemed like to me that those white women were out for blood, and they got it. Like I said, I believe that there's some smoke there. What I mean by that is I believe that he did something, but it's no different than the something that these other men who have been accused have done. Why aren't they in jail? That's my question. And that's why I cannot get through my head that only Bill Cosby has paid for his crimes. I cannot reconcile in my heart that only Bill Cosby is sitting in a jail cell. That's where, even though I thought he may have been guilty of something, that's where I had to break and say, you know what? This is not fair. It's just not fair, y'all. I want to know what everyone thinks about, Bill Cosby going to jail. Do you feel like I do, where you believe that there is some smoke to what these women are saying, but with his age and him being legally blind, that they could have handled the sentencing a little different? Punish him if he's guilty, okay? Punish him. But 3 to 10 years in jail, and y'all, to be honest, I think when the 3 years are up, he may not even get out. That's a death sentence when you're in your 80s, because you could get sickly and you're in prison and you're not getting adequate care. It could take this man out of here. I want to know what y'all think. Leave your comments down in the comment section. As always, thanks for watching my video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care now. Bye bye.